Hey everybody, Merry Christmas. Hope you're all having a great day, staying warm and safe. We were excited to have a Christmas Eve service tonight, and unfortunately with all the weather reports, we had to make the best decision we could to cancel. And so here we are, we're doing it like this. This will probably be a shorter than usual service, but I wanted to at least give us an opportunity to come together for a short bit and just focus on Jesus as we're going into Christmas weekend. Before I share some stuff from the Word, though, I just wanted to give you a quick reminder. We are not having church this Sunday on Christmas morning, so we wanted to give you guys that day to celebrate Christmas with your family and loved ones. So I do want to also make sure you do know we are having Christmas the following Sunday, which is New Year's Sunday, January 1st. We will be having service at 10 a.m. One of the things we were excited about in our service tonight was the children was actually planning to do something special for us tonight. And unfortunately, because we had to cancel, they don't get to. But we're actually going to plan on them doing the same thing that they were planning on doing on New Year's Day, so we still get to experience that, and it's going to be wonderful. So I'm excited about that. After my short message, as we dive into the Word and share a few thoughts, I'm going to put a separate video on here that's just a 7-minute video, just a fun thing I put together that I hope you guys will enjoy as well and have some laughs with me. Some of it might be a surprise to you about something that happened that I wanted to make a video about. So hopefully you guys will enjoy that. All right, I want to read a little portion of the Christmas story to you guys. There's so many things to cover with the Christmas story, but I just want to hit one facet of it for this short time with you. And so we're going to read out of Matthew chapter 2, verses 1 through 15. I'm going to go ahead and read it, and then I'm going to share a few thoughts with you guys. All right, Matthew 2, 1 through 15. Now after Jesus was born in Bethlehem of Judea in the days of Herod the king, behold, wise men from the east came to Jerusalem, saying, Where is he who has been born King of the Jews? For we have seen his star in the east and have come to worship him. When Herod the king heard this, he was troubled, and all Jerusalem with him. And when he had gathered all the chief priests and scribes of the people together, he inquired of them where the Christ was to be born. So they said to him, In Bethlehem of Judea, for thus it was written by the prophet, But you, Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, are not the least among the rulers of Judah, for out of you shall come a ruler who will shepherd my people Israel. Then Herod, when he had secretly called the wise men, determined from them what time the star appeared. And he sent them to Bethlehem and said, Go and search carefully for the young child, and when you have found him, bring back word to me, that I may come and worship him also. Liar. When they heard the king, they departed, and behold, the star which they had seen in the east went before them, till it came and stood over where the child was. When they saw the star, they rejoiced with exceedingly great joy. And when they had come into the house, they saw the young child with Mary, his mother, and fell down and worshipped him. And when they had opened their treasures, they presented gifts to him, gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Then, being divinely warned in a dream that they should not return to Herod, they departed for their own country another way. Now when they had departed, behold, an angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph in a dream, saying, Arise, take the young child and his mother, flee to Egypt, and stay there until I bring you word. For Herod will seek the young child to destroy him. When he arose, he took the child and his mother by night and departed for Egypt, and was there until the death of Herod, that it might be fulfilled, which was spoken by the Lord through the prophet, saying, Out of Egypt I called my son. Pretty cool story. I want to give you guys a few fun facts on here to think about. Most of the time when we hear the Christmas story or watch the movies or cartoons, you see the three wise men showing up right about the time that the shepherds showed up after Jesus was born in the manger. I want to actually suggest to you that when the wise men showed up, it actually was likely to have been quite some time after his birth and not during his birth. And one of the reasons we would say this is because in verse 11, it says, when they had come into the house, they saw the young child with Mary, his mother. So they came into the house. Where was Jesus born? He was not born in a house. He was born in a manger. So this would have happened sometime after that they would have been in a house and they showed up then. It could have been, a few days later, or it could have been months or possibly a couple of years later. We don't actually know the answer on that. Okay. Something else I want to point out to you is Mary and Joseph and their financial status. More than likely, they were poor. It's possible that they were not. After all, Joseph was a carpenter, and if you consider during his day and age, that trade probably would have been comparable to contractors of today. However, I want to look at something that might give us an indication of their financial status when he was born. And when you look in Luke chapter 2, verses 22 through 24, it explains that Joseph and Mary had to take Jesus to the temple to offer an offering for him. I think maybe it was when he was 8 days old, if I remember right. But it says every firstborn male will be set apart for the Lord, and it's suggesting that that Mary and Joseph offered a pair of turtle doves or 2 young pigeons. In the Old Covenant law, in Leviticus 12:7 through 8, it actually explains that it explains the rituals of sacrificing a lamb for the sins or for the offerings, but it says that if you cannot afford to purchase a lamb because of how much money it costs, and you don't have the money for that, you can actually purchase a pair of doves or 2 young pigeons. So it actually is a provision from God to be able to make a proper sacrifice even if you can't afford the lamb. So it indicates not a lot of money, okay? So more than likely, Joseph and Mary did not have a lot of money. That's something to consider, okay? All right, how many wise men were there? 3, right? Well, we don't actually know. It doesn't say. Nowhere in the Bible does it say how many wise men came. Most people like to say 3, but that comes from the concept of that there's 3 listed gifts that was given to him. Some people think there's a 4th wise man that showed up that was trying to bring a fruitcake and Gabriel pushed him away. I don't think that guy was probably actually really there, but we don't know, right? So people think there's 3 wise men because there was the gifts, gold, frankincense, and myrrh. So I think people traditionally think one king brought gold, one brought frankincense, one brought myrrh. It doesn't actually say that at all. Could be 3, but some people actually believe, some scholars believe that there actually could have been an entourage of maybe up to 300 people that came to worship Jesus. Isn't that crazy? Could you imagine? Like that totally changes the Christmas card picture, But maybe, what if they actually needed that many people in order to carry the amount of gifts that they were bringing to the King of Kings? All right, the gifts they brought, gold, frankincense, and myrrh. I want you to think about this. These guys were kings, okay? They were called the Magi. They were wealthy sages that traveled across the desert, definitely probably weeks, if not even years that it took them to get there because of how far they're coming. But do you think that these kings would come bearing a gift for a king, because they knew that this is going to be a child king, right? That they would bring just a trinket box to give to him? If you think about a gift that's worthy for a king, and then you think about kings giving gifts to kings, royalty to royalty, they don't give little tiny gifts. They give extravagant gifts to one another. And so you got to think about the lavishness that would have come with this. It would have been more than just a trinket box. In verse 11, it says they opened their treasures and they presented gifts to him, gold, frankincense, and myrrh, right? They opened their treasures. That literally is talking about them opening actual treasure, okay? It wasn't just a little box of gift with a little bit of stuff in there. Like, this was actually their treasures, okay? So it probably was actually treasure chests that they brought to them, to Jesus, all right? In our day and age, we don't really tend to think too much about frankincense and myrrh, but sure, like the idea of gold, right? But back then, frankincense and myrrh were such precious items to them in their day and age, and they were actually worth more than gold in their weight. That's crazy that gold actually was probably the least of the gifts of the three of them. That blows my mind. Nobody knows the actual worth of these items, but it's probably greater than what people tend to think, okay? A lot of scholars and people believe that these gifts that was given to them were so extravagant, so lavish, that it actually funded their family in the early years of Jesus' life. Like not just a nice little gift, like actually funding their lives. That's pretty wild. If you think about the fact that Joseph and Mary couldn't even afford to buy a lamb for a sacrifice when Jesus was born, showing probably a measure of poverty that they had. But then after this, the angel warns them, and somehow they had the money to be able to flee in the moment, unplanned trip to Egypt, and to stay there for possibly even a few years, and then funding them to return back. Like, that's a lot of money if you think about what they had after these guys came, right? So it could have been a lot more than what we think. Some people actually believe that money may have even funded Jesus' life and ministry. He lived 33 and a half years, so that's even more money that could have been, right? And so some people actually believe that the amount of money they gave could have been worth somewhere between $1 and $3 million. Now, there's no way for us to actually really know this stuff, but that kind of changes things up quite a bit with this story. It shows the extravagance. It shows the lavishness, the level of worship and honor. I mean, can you imagine? Like, sometimes it's hard enough for us just to get in the car and go to church when the weather's bad, right? Like right now, for example, or just because we're one reason or another, it makes it just hard for us to even go to church. These guys actually traveled over deserts and for months and months and months on end just to come and worship this king, and possibly only have been there for a short time. That's some value to place on Jesus. So it just is a picture of the magnitude of honor and worship that's in that. So I just want to say, like, our King, Jesus is our King, and he is worthy of the greatest of gifts. He's worthy of the gift from our lives, our hearts. I don't know if you guys like that Christmas song, The Little Drummer Boy. Some people think it's a really corny song. I actually love it. Like, it sounds a little goofy, especially with the pa-rum-pa-pum-pum, but listen to all the words around that and think about the heart that's in it. It's a powerful song. I remember one time back before, I think it was right before I started dating Jessica, I lived in Nashville, Tennessee. I was driving home back to Indiana for Christmas. So I was listening to Christmas music, and that song came on. I started singing it, and my spirit just started leaping within me. At first, it was just a song, right? But then I started having this encounter with God and his love, and I started bawling my eyes out. I had to keep playing that song over and over and over, bawling my eyes out, just worshiping the Lord because of the message in it just was really resonating with me. I want to read the lyrics. I'm going to cut out the pa-rum-pa-pum-pums, though, because, boy, you would probably shut me off quick if I did that with each one. All right, it says, "Come, they told me, a newborn king to see. Our finest gifts we bring to lay before the King, so to honor him when we come. Baby Jesu, I am a poor boy too. I have no gift to bring that's fit to give the King. Shall I play for you on my drum? Mary nodded. The ox and lamb kept time. I kept my drum for him. I played my best for him. Then he smiled at me and my drum. I've heard people joke, and it's hilarious just to think like, what a gift to give the mother of a newborn baby, to bring your drum kit right to the baby who should be sleeping, and right in his face. Yeah, that sounds like a good gift, right? Pretty funny. We've been there with kids, and I know you wanna keep things as quiet as you can, right, Josh and Lisa? So, but I think that's funny. But I love the message in this song. If you really think about it, I want you to think about this, like whether you feel like you have anything worth acknowledging compared to other people who might, maybe you feel like other people can outdo you with what you have to give Jesus, what you have to serve with him, for him. Whatever gift you have, whatever strength you may have, your ability, your talents, your possessions, etc. Just things that you have, whether it's small or big. You can take that song and replace that word drum with whatever you have and put it in there, that you could serve him with the best. You may feel like, I don't have that much to give like so-and-so does, but I'm going to give you my best, and may I play it for you? May I play my drum for you? I'm thinking of the widow who went and gave an offering, and the Pharisees and the rich ones went and they gave their gift, and they lifted their hands to the Lord, and then the widow came and she gave just a mite, just a hardly worth anything, maybe a penny. She gave that, and she put it in the offering with her whole heart though. And Jesus told his disciples her gift was worth more than any of those other people, because she gave out of her poverty. She gave out of her lack. She worshiped the Lord with all she had. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how grand or great it is or how small it is. God wants it all, guys. He wants us to worship him with all we've got. And, when we lay it all down for our King, he smiles upon us. Like, it draws his attention to you. It makes him feel loved by you. He receives your worship when you give from your heart what you have for him. God gave us the best Christmas gift ever. He gave his one and only Son to us, hoping that we would believe in him so we could not perish but have everlasting life. He gave Jesus not even with a guarantee that we're going to even receive him, but he still gave lavishly, selflessly. And it's amazing. He gave us his best. He gave his Son. He gave Jesus Christ. There's nobody greater than Jesus, and he became a gift to us. So God, he wants us to give our best to him. He wants us to posture our hearts to him as living sacrifices, where we lay our lives down. We lay down to him who we are and what we have and the strengths that we carry, and serve him with what we have as not as a ritual, not as a required religious experience, but out of worship, just like that drummer boy. I want to worship you, just like those kings who traveled so far to just worship Jesus and to gift him with what they had to give. Romans 12:1 says, I beseech you therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable to God, which is your reasonable service. Like, God's not looking for a lot from you. He's just looking for all from you. whether it's a lot or a little. To him, it's everything. And he loves you so much. He wants you. He desires you, not to make you suffer, and not to get you to give up things to make you suffer lack. No, it's so he can give you his all, which is far better than anything you have. Last Christmas, on Christmas Day, it was in the evening time. I pulled away from the family for just a short little bit. I think I went upstairs to take a shower or something, but I wanted to have just a few minutes to spend with Jesus on his birthday, and just to love on him, and to connect with his heart, and to encounter Jesus. I wanted a Christmas encounter, guys. And so while I was focusing on him, Jesus reminded me why he came. He told me this. He said, I came to you and I came for you. I came to you, I came for you. They both sound very similar, but they both have different meaning, and they're both true together. He came to you, to. That's proximity. He came from afar to close. I came to you. And I came for you. That's not proximity. That's pursuit. That's heart desire. I came for you. I wanted to be with you. Jesus says to you guys, I want you. I want you. That's what Christmas is all about. Jesus saying, I want you. And then it's all about us saying back to him, Lord, I want you. I want you more than anything I have. I want you more than anything I can do. I lay it all down for you. You're more than all of that stuff. Merry Christmas, guys. God bless you. It all started about 9 o'clock last Thursday morning. I had just opened up my laptop to start a deep dive in preparing for my uplifting Sunday sermon. And that's when I got the call from Jessica. There's a squirrel, she said. Come again, I said. A squirrel? What are you talking about? It's in the building. It's huge. There's a huge, beastly, bulging squirrel inside the church. She explained that she was working in the overflow room when all of a sudden, this wild beast ran right into the middle of the room, looked her straight in the eyes, and then shot right towards the sanctuary. And now she doesn't know where it's at. Fantastic. Now I get to add pest control to my pastoral job description. There is no chance I'd be able to focus on my sermon again. So off I went to Menards, Home Depot, then Lowe's to buy a squirrel trap. I was concerned it wasn't big enough because it is a huge, beastly, bulging squirrel. I called my friend who is a pest control specialist for advice. I asked if I should try this trap. He thought it was worth a shot. After getting the trap set, baiting it with peanut butter, and bribery, there was nothing to do but wait it out. So I prayed. And I asked others to pray in agreement with us to catch this beast. We had a church Christmas party the next night we had to get ready for. That evening, Lauren went to the church and checked the traps and called me with an update. Hey man, what's the verdict?
Hey, well the good news is...
And he proceeded to explain that the trap had sprung.
The bad news is...
And he proceeded to tell me that the squirrel was not in it, and neither was the peanut butter. No way! Ever hear of Harry Houdini? This is his brother Furry Houdini. So Lauren set the traps again that night. I couldn't wait to get back in the morning to see the results. Guess what? We caught the squirrel. He was stuck in that trap just waiting quietly. But when I approached the trap, zoom! Furry Houdini shot straight out that locked trap door like a banshee trying to beat the Sunday rush to the Shoney's buffet. I chased him all around the building. I was getting quite giddy by that time. My pest control friend came out to do a walkthrough and loaned me a larger, more powerful trap. We'll surely get him soon. Then I got Houdini isolated in the sanctuary and set the trap in there. Finally got back to my sermon. Where was I? Oh yeah. Then I heard a noise. Did I catch him? Nope. This happened a few more times. So I cried out to God, "Catch that squirrel, Lord. We have a Christmas party at 6:30 and there's squirrel poop on the tables. Only you know where he is." Well, God didn't catch the squirrel, but he reminded me of our dominion on this earth. I realized I can't wait for the trap, but have to take the bull by the horn, or the squirrel by his tiny little ears. David had his lion and bear, but I've got my rodents. I grabbed my gear and I marched to the battle scene. Out the door, out the door, out the door. You're going the wrong way, buddy. Out the door, dude. I said some prayers, commands,
Squirrel, I command you to go out that door in the name of Jesus.
and some other choice words.
Dude, you're dumb. You're out now. Holy mackerel. Right by my feet. Out the door, out the door. Come on.
So far, he was not obeying me. I couldn't get it, and the clock was ticking, so I called in my reinforcements. Chris Moore to the rescue in 10 minutes sharp. Houdini hid in the sound booth down inside the wall. While I was about to block a hole, Chris shouted,
There he is!
and my face contorted, and I about messed myself. The squirrel jumped right out of the sound booth as fast as Speedy Gonzales.
He's over here. Oh my gosh. You gotta be kidding me, dude. No, don't go back in there. Oh, he's over here, he's over here. Where'd he go? Where'd he go? I think he's behind the tree. He's in the tree. By your head.
Even our building neighbor came over to help.
Oh, he's trying to go up the wall. Did you see that jump? Uh-oh. He's trying to find a way to get out that door. Okay, he's right there. You got him! Yes! Get him away from me, though. Oh, he's going through. Dang it! No! Oh, no! He went through the net. Right here. You get him? Oh, no! You stupid. There, he's on the table. Get off the table. All right, he's trapped. He's trapped. Okay. Good. Wait. Oh, no, no! Oh,
After hours of chasing him, even days of dealing with this squirrel, we finally got him trapped. He was hiding in a chair inserts.
it's sealed in. Let the Lord please help us straight. Dude, you did it.
Close the door. There he is. Thank you, Lord. Run, Rover. Run, Rover, run.
Oh my gosh, that was crazy. He's going. He went. He
There he
went.
goes. There he goes.
There he went.
Thank you, Lord.
Dude.
In the end, God didn't catch that squirrel for us. Instead, he chose to use us. He worked with us to help us lay hold of what we were praying for. And that's how we conquered the squirrel invasion. We got her done, literally in the nick of time. In case you wondered, Jessica changed the poopy tablecloths. I'll bet none of you had any idea what all went into your church Christmas party. But now you do. Merry Christmas, guys.